today we're going to talk about how to name your characters. I love naming my characters. I just think it's one of the most fun parts of the writing process. There's a lot of ways to do it, so I'm just going to tell you about some of the ways that I've named some of my characters, and we'll talk about some other things that you can also try. So for my book series, Bigfoot and Littlefoot, which is about a Bigfoot kid who becomes best friends with a human boy, I really thought hard about what to name these characters. Now my Bigfoot kid, he's obviously really huge, and but not scary. He's really kind of a gentle giant. So I wanted to think of a name that sounded big, but not intimidating. Now take the name Brutus. Now Brutus is a big sounding name, but it also sounds kind of menacing. So I crossed that right off the list. I landed on the name Hugo because Hugo sounds like the word huge, but it's softer. And that was really the impression that I wanted to give my readers, that this is a huge character who's very sensitive and soft and gentle. So Hugo was the perfect name for him. For my human boy, now this kid is a really, he's really knowledgeable about the woods, about hiking. He knows a lot about the forest. So I wanted to pick a name that would reflect that. So I named him after Daniel Boone, who is this great frontiersman, great wilderness explorer, and that just fit my character perfectly. So it was Hugo and Boone. Now sometimes it's fun to create a name that will actually affect your character. And I did that with my book series, Otis Dewey. In fact, I have a little Otis Dewey statue here. This was made by the illustrator, David Heatley. So with Otis Dewey, I wanted to give him a name that was kind of a burden for him to carry. So Otis Dewey certainly is the sort of name that if you had, people would be teasing you, right? And in fact, the book opens where Otis talks about all the ways that people have twisted his name around in order to kind of rile him up. And it really bothers him. So my character's name, Otis Dewey, has affected his personality. He is sort of a sensitive kid because he's been teased a lot. But he's also pretty tough, again, because he's been teased a lot. The other thing is he has a great sense of humor because, well, how can you have a name like Otis Dewey and not have a great sense of humor? So there are many ways to find names for your character. Right, Hugo? See, Hugo, he was named after the character Hugo in Bigfoot and Littlefoot because he's got a really big personality even though he's got a very small body. So there are lots of ways to find a good name for your character. Here are a few of them. Think about your character's parents. Their parents named your character, right? Did they give your character a name that reflects their ethnic background? Thinking about your character's parents can also help you to build your character's personality. It can give you a peek into how your character was raised and what their childhood was like. For instance, maybe your character's parents are free spirits and they gave your character a name like, or maybe your character's parents are more old-fashioned and strict. You might want to try to mix and match a name. For instance, you could take a sort of a plain name and add a last name like. That will instantly give your character a more vivid feeling personality. As you think about possible names, be sure to imagine what sort of a first impression that name might make. Think twice about giving two characters names that sound too similar. That can confuse readers and make it hard for them to get a good grip on your characters. And of course, you can also check out baby name books or baby name generators online. These are fun because they can tell you the original meaning of the name, which you can use to help build your character's personality. And if you're writing fantasy, there are some great fantasy name generators online. that will give you suggestions for anything from orcs to dragons. So try these out, experiment, and I know you're going to find the perfect name for your character.